Hey guys, thanks for joining us for part 2 of Famous Last Words. I hope that God is using this in your life as much as He is in my life. Have you ever asked yourself, why God? I think we've all been there in those situations or seasons of life where we're like, why did this happen? I just don't understand. Why God? Right now, I can think of multiple things that I don't know why, or I probably never will know on this side of heaven why. And when I get to the other side, I probably won't even care at that point. But right now, my reality is now. And we ask the question, why God? All of us have been there. What's interesting to me is when we examine the words of Jesus on the cross, here is what we notice. As we look at His life, His whole life, we know from the moment He was born, think about this, He was attacked by the enemy. Satan was coming after Him from the very moment He was born. Even when Jesus was a little baby, Herod sought to have Him killed. Jesus, in His hometown, think about this, He was known as a prophet without honor. Some guys one time put Jesus on the edge of a cliff and wanted to push Him off the cliff. Jesus had a lot of reasons to say, why God? People called Him a heretic. They called Him a fanatic. They said He was demon possessed. They said He was drunk. They said that He was a glutton. The list goes on and on of all the attacks that Jesus took upon Himself. He was falsely accused. He was tortured, beaten, taken to the cross. And what is interesting to me is that the first time we hear Jesus cry out, why God, is when He takes on our sin for ourselves. You see, the Father sent Jesus, and Jesus was fully God and fully man. And in Matthew 27, 45 and 46, it says this. It says, from the 6th hour until the 9th hour, darkness came over the land. About the 9th hour, Jesus cried out with a loud voice, my God, why have you forsaken me? And then in 2 Corinthians 5:21, it says this, God made Him who had no sin to be sin for us so that we might become the righteousness of God. As you guys discuss in your group about what the cross means to us, I want you to discuss and know that Jesus became sin for us. That means that the wrath of God, the Father, was poured out upon Him. The weight, the pain of every sin you and I ever committed, He took for us. 1 Peter 2:4 says this. It says, He Himself bore our sins in His body on the cross so that we might die to sin and live for righteousness. By His wounds, you have been healed. Today, we have something to celebrate and thank God for what He's done for you and for me. Even though you may feel forsaken in the midst of your situation, the truth is that Christ can truly forgive you and adopt you into His family, and He was forsaken on your behalf. We spend a lot of time asking God why. And a lot of times we're never going to know why certain things happen. But it's amazing to me that all the things that happened to Jesus being fully God and yet fully man, He had the same emotions you have, the same emotions I have, the same way we want to scream out and say, God, why? The only time Jesus ever asked God the Father, why do I have to take this, was actually for you and for me. And He did it. He didn't bail. He didn't quit. I want you to really celebrate the cross and what that means for me and for you. And as we wrestle through asking God why, we know that Jesus remained committed. He remained dedicated to the call of God. Sometimes asking why can make us quit the direction that God's called us to go. Don't give up. Don't quit. Keep trusting God because His plan is perfect. And as you think about Jesus, the sacrifice He made was the perfect sacrifice and the perfect plan to rescue me, to rescue you, to give us hope. I hope that you guys have a great discussion in your group. Thanks.